Hi everyone and welcome to a new video, and today it's a very special video because we have a guest. The guest is our GM, Jorge. Hey Jorge, how are you?
Hello everyone, great to be part of this video. Now I feel special. How are you doing, people? Are good?
No, we feel special because you're here, and it's gonna be a very relevant and like a topic as well today, because we're gonna talk about this coronavirus situation and the
Yes.
COVID-19 situation that happened. So basically, to introduce the topic to people, basically what YallaMotor was, of course, faced with this just like any other company out there. This happened to all of us, of course, suddenly, and all of us had to cope. We were, I think, one of the first companies to maybe start working from home, actually, because we are an online business and it's easier for us to just relocate quickly and start working from home. One of the first things we did when we started working from home is thinking is like our partners, clients, customers, users are also affected by this. So we went out there and we did a full survey about the car buying behavior in this situation. So maybe you can open up, Jorge, by telling us what's the purpose of that survey and where did the numbers come from?
Great, absolutely, Anas. I believe overall, as you people already know, at YallaMotor, and this includes, of course, the YallaMotor team, we're very committed towards throwing light into the market, right? I mean, especially from a consumer car buyer point of view, which is an area which we've identified a couple of years ago, where it lacks information and data. And I believe, and we believe as a company, that this helps tremendously all our customers, from PR agencies, media agencies, dealer importers, distributors, used car dealers, banks, insurance companies, all the YallaMotor stakeholders, to make better decisions while understanding the purchasing behavior of a vehicle. When this Corona situation hit back in the days, we worked based on an assumption whereby certainly this will modify for a period of time the purchasing behavior of the customers. So we wanted to understand that. And we actually compared the results of this survey. If I'm not mistaken, we ran it on YallaMotor.com, of course, and more than 1,200 people answered to the questions we've asked. And we compared these results with a previous research we've done back in 2019 in order to, again, understand the purchasing behavior. And effectively, this purchasing behavior changed. There are a couple of facts that we now know in regards to this purchasing behavior, right? So for instance, people now, they're taking a lot more time to make that decision, right? Or back in the days, it was up to a month. Now people are willing to consider buying a vehicle within 3 up to 6 months. So potentially this will affect our dealers. So we wanted to throw again, I mean, and this is, I'm bringing just only one fact. I'm pretty sure we're going to go deeper into these facts.
Definitely, yeah.
In this discussion.
And before we move into and before we move deeper into these like findings from this report, I want to tell people like YallaMotor is a great place to do such surveys. Like as Jorge mentioned, like we just threw this survey out there for a couple of days, and we got 1,200 people like sharing. I mean, like taking it. Because a simple reason, like just look at our numbers from the past year. We had like 27 million sessions on the website, 138 million page views, 75 million minutes are spent on YallaMotor every year from 13 million car buyers across the region. Like these numbers are amazing. And you put a survey out there for a couple of days, you get thousands of people just like taking that survey. And one thing we always do with these surveys that we share them for free with all our partners, with all our customers, with all the manufacturers, because we feel that their decisions and their marketing and their like salespeople should actually know this information so they can serve our base customers well, right? So because
It's
we
like our
do
two
care about
cents,
like,
right?
yeah, exactly. Because sometimes a lot of people think like, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? Because basically they don't know what you need. And this is what we're trying to bridge, what people actually want and need at this certain time, and what dealers and manufacturers should be doing.
I'm just going to come in between and say that these 1,200 responses that were gathered on this survey is from across the GCC. So it gives you a very good idea on what's going on in the region. It's not only in the UAE or in one specific country, but it's the full GCC that has been taken into account for this survey. So the findings are relevant to the entire region.
Yeah. Yes, they are. And the key findings that we are talking about, like we can throw like 3 key findings that I think will sum up the survey before we go into detail. That now with the coronavirus situation, people tend to need 3 times the time before deciding on buying a car. That's what they told us, of course. People are looking into more options of co-ownership, like we can say leasing is one of those options. And of course, people now are going more online to look for a car, to even maybe purchase a car totally online in a total holistic experience that will start online and maybe end online.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, I mean, the results revealed that 6 out of 10 people are willing to now purchase a vehicle online. But sorry to cut you, but I think, I mean, the results are relevant, right?
Yes,
clearly,
and they make sense.
And they do make absolute sense. And clearly, they're showing a great trend towards the power that online tools have. So if you allow me, I would like to step in here, and because I mean, it's okay talking about the results, definitely, but what does these results mean for a dealer? So what does 6 out of 10 car buyers at the end of the day are willing to purchase a vehicle online? Well, this certainly will affect dealers, importers, distributors, used car dealers, new car dealers, you name it, all of them. In a way that, of course, there will be fewer people walking in the showrooms, right?
Sure, yeah.
And along the way, a lot more people looking into online tools to engage with your sales representatives. And these customers will become a lot more picky when it comes to the information that they consume online. So what dealers need to do over here is like enhance their online tools. Coming from 2019, enhancing their online tools doesn't mean at the end of the day that you can put a button on your website, which is shop it now, and you put 5,000 dirhams of down payment and you book the vehicle, right? Means looking for expanding your footprint from the online, on the online arena. I mean, third-party websites are the most trusted sources because we are like a white label. We empower car buyers to browse choice, to compare vehicles from an unbiased point of view. So this is a great opportunity. And a question that I've been receiving quite a lot is, shall I keep engaging with our customers, even though now the purchasing decision is a lot sort of longer, it will take more time? And the answer is a bold yes. I mean, the fact that these people are taking more time to purchase a vehicle does not mean that they're not in market for buying a vehicle, right? They're taking more time, that's true, right? But now you need to engage with this potential customer throughout these 3 months, whereby before you would have to engage with them for only 30 to 45 days. So it's very important for brands, for dealers, to keep updating their inventory, to keep updating their online tools, to keep promoting their services during this situation. Because the fact that we are in a lockdown doesn't mean that you need to stop to communicate. And in this particular front, we read this very quickly at YallaMotor and its team, and we launched a brilliant initiative that was extremely successful. I mean, we gave these dealers various tools as a package to communicate with the customers throughout the lockdown. And video content, articles, lead generation, book appointments online, etc., etc. And there are way more tools coming that also will help them to engage.
Yeah, and I would add, like, that was an initiative we took really quickly when this whole thing happened. And it was, we just opened up the gates of, like, YallaMotor website. It was all free. If you want to communicate anything you did to as a response to the situation, you can use our tools to do that. Yeah. So let's move to another number. When we asked people, like, about their plan to purchase a car, like, so 64.59 of them said in 2019 that they stated that they can make a decision in less than a month. But now we can see that that's gonna be 3 to 6 months. So Jorge, like, moving away again from the number itself, it's like, you mentioned communication. Like, what kind of change do you see? Do you see, like, manufacturers and dealers, like, maybe starting to work more with people like us, the third-party websites, directly to communicate with their customers? What other changes do you see, like, other than updating their own websites and maybe adding tools there and stuff?
So there are a couple of changes in place. So for instance, what dealers are doing, and we're helping them building this as well with our technology, is booking online appointments. So now what a dealer can do is, like, the same way we are actually recording this meeting with you guys, you can now book an appointment through Zoom meetings, Microsoft Teams, Google Chats, I don't know, all the tools which are there. And you can have a friendly discussion with the sales representative. The sales representative will be able to give you a walk around on that particular vehicle. You can actually have, and I'm trying to connect this with some of the executions we've done lately. You can actually have a point of view sort of video with the sales representative, right? Checking the car inside, checking the car outside, talking about the specs, the promotions, the offers that these dealers are throwing into the market. And that at least reduces the walk-ins, but still you are engaging with your customers. And what these customers would like to also have is the option of having kind of a concierge service, whereby this particular sales representative, right, can actually drive the vehicle to their place where they can actually test drive it and close the deal, right? And then they will arrange
82% of like the respondents say they are like open to a test drive at home. That's
Yeah,
82%.
I remember,
that's a big number.
And here I guess I need to give it to them. I mean, this was an initiative that Renault launched during 2019, way before this happened, right? And it was, I remember at the same time we released the 2019 car buying behavior report. And I know as a fact that these actually help sales, right? I mean, what is better than actually, you know, getting your vehicle delivered, test drive it for 45 minutes, having the sales consultant next to you. I mean, there's no distractions. It's very experiential. And I mean, the conversion rates are off the charts.
This could possibly be something that will stick around even once all of this is over, because it's just a lot more convenient for customers at the end of the day. You know, they don't need to take time out of their schedule, go to the showroom, and they're like, nah, I can't make it today. I'll try coming over the weekend or next week. And they can just turn around and be like, you know what, we'll come over to your house if you're okay with that. So I actually see this sticking around even after the whole coronavirus thing has died out. And for all you know, showrooms might actually be conducting more test drives this way.
Actually, Zaran, it seems coronavirus is sticking around after the coronavirus. it seems this thing is gonna be there like for a long period of time, like until we have a sort of, I don't know, a medicine or a vaccine for it. This is gonna be the norm, actually. This is gonna be the normal way we conduct our daily lives. So they have to think about like other alternatives. Like, so I'm looking at this number right now. It's like 18% of people, like only 18% of people are are not willing to test drive a car at home. So that like 82% of people are telling you we want to test drive a car at home, and 56% of buyers are not willing at this point of time to even go to a showroom. That's like more than half of the people telling you, I'm not willing to go to a showroom right now, because they have a point. Like it's a personal safety to begin with, and then safety of others around them. So
I guess here what dealers need to do, right? Because I mean, the same way, for instance, in a showroom, they work on the experience of the brand, right? They will need to also work on that experience while providing this service at home, correct? Because at the end of the day, each brand communicates. I mean, also walking into a showroom is where you as a customer, you start experiencing the brand, right? So now it's time for them to translate this experience more on a concierge sort of service.
With the person delivering the car, with the people, like how do you book your appointment, how do you do it, either through the phone or online or through an app, how do you locate this car, what kind of condition you get the car in, how long you test drive it, all of that.
And there will be a massive learning curve for all of us, actually, right? Because working on the efficiencies of things, it will be very important. Because also, I mean, you will have people that actually, I don't know, they would like to test drive a car just for the sake of it. And putting a vehicle at their doorstep is actually way more expensive than having the customer into the showroom and then having a test drive from there, right? So dealers, we will have to actually curate all these requests and prioritize accordingly. I'm pretty sure, I mean, you know how people is, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure, I mean, people will book test drives and will take the sales representative out for groceries maybe. And I believe that's overall, it's not going to be the point, right? So there is a lot to learn, and I believe optimizing.
I was thinking more like
I think Anas got cut, but until Anand
Yeah.
comes back, what I was saying is, you know, earlier we were talking about 6 out of 10 customer, or rather 6 out of 10 responses in the survey said that they are open to purchase a car online. And there's two sides to this. Firstly, I think it's very impressive to see how quickly dealers have responded to this, because all the sort of communication we're receiving right now with the ongoing Ramadan offers they're running and things like that,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure about literally all of them have mentioned that they have an online purchasing option, or at least the option to put a down payment and a booking, if not pay the full amount online. So it's good to see how quickly dealers are responding, but more importantly, it's good to see customers are willing to do this, because, you know, if you remember correctly, I think we had been together for that event that Chevrolet had. I think they were the first ones over here in the UAE, at least, to have online purchasing. And that was what, a good 3-4 years ago, if I remember correctly. And it was ahead of its time. Back then, people were like, no way, I'm not going to purchase a car online. And now, just in a very short span of about 3 years, if 6 out of 10 people are saying that, yes, they're willing to purchase a car online, then, I mean, that's a great number. That's 60%.
No, it's definitely a very promising number, but I would like to highlight another thing here. I mean, the fact that 6 out of 10 people are willing to purchase a vehicle online doesn't mean that you as a dealer, just by putting a button of purchasing online,
Exactly.
right, on your website, you will have online sales, right? I believe this is very important for everyone, because due to the current situation, everyone is going out there and saying, okay, you know what, now I need to have an e-commerce platform whereby people can actually purchase my inventory online. But it's not that easy. I mean, it's not that we are selling Legos or we are selling desks, right? We need to understand, in order to successfully sell vehicles online, what is the purchasing cycle of a vehicle through online platforms, right? So people will require way more information than the information all the dealers are currently displaying, right? The deeper the information we showcase on the vehicle pages, the higher the conversion rates are gonna be. So, I mean, as an example, will not be enough to showcase pictures, descriptions as features of the vehicle by any means. I mean, this is very thin. And at the end of the day, the average price of a vehicle, it's around, what, 80 to 100,000 dirhams. You're still asking a customer to spend between 80 to 100,000 dirhams online, with fancy images coming from the brochure and a couple of specs here and there won't be enough by any means, right?
They won't.
Like to know the cost of ownership. How does this vehicle compare with other vehicles? Why do I need to buy this particular vehicle? People would love to experience this vehicle through their phone, through their laptop, through their PC, whatever tool that they're using, with E60s, interior, exterior. I mean, now online tools offer
POVs, for instance.
POVs, maintenance costs, and so on and so forth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry,
bless you. And speaking of like prices, one other like factor or a number we found from the survey, that we had a question about like the car buying decision and how will it be impacted. And 74% of people like were asking for reduced prices. Another 11% of them were asking for attractive loan options. 10% of them were asking for like complimentary services, like the ones we get in Ramadan right now. But
so people
only
now
5%
are
were
way more price sensitive, right? I mean,
yeah, definitely. And for me, it's the price doesn't just actually means the amount you're paying, because with a car, like you said, it's not just like the initial amount you're paying. There's like service fees, there's like insurance fees. In some places, it's tax fees as well. And loan options. So the options of like, how am I paying this amount as well is important. And this is a topic I wanted to discuss with you guys, maybe even before this whole COVID-19. It's like, why don't we see a lot of like other payment options like leasing or co-ownership happening quicker here in our region and in a more like easier way, just like what happens in other parts of the world, like in Europe and the US and Canada. Like people there just prefer leasing to even buying or taking a loan to a car. So let's start with like, why do you think it took us so long to start talking about such options?
Well, I mean, if you ask me, Anas, I believe every, let's say, new purchasing model needs to be developed properly, right? At the end of the day, we have, I mean, leasing is certainly a factor. There, I believe there were a couple of regulations out there that they were not in place, but leasing options, particularly for people in the GCC, that sometimes they come for 1 year, 2 years, or up to 3 years, it could be a very good options. Then when it comes to car sharing, it's purely regulation, right? At the end of the day, that's not regulated at this point in time. You can actually share a vehicle, but which is not yours. You are actually temporarily renting it, which is a different model as well. But I mean, these are emerging models, right? And I believe overall this situation in the medium run will raise a couple of questions on the car buyer's mind. Because, for instance, I haven't used my car for at least 20 to 25 days now, right? And I'm still paying for that kind of real estate over there. I'm still paying insurance, depreciation, and so on and so forth. So people, I believe, now are realizing that having a vehicle might not be the best possible investment, and they will like to start sharing that costs with others. It's still at the very early stage, but we can see trends in other territories, in other markets. So I guess here is like, let's see how that goes. The GCC is still very driven by the car ownership at this particular point in time, because it's a status thing as well. People can actually afford vehicles here in this region that back at their home country they can't, from an engine size point of view, for instance, right? Because petrol is way cheaper than in Europe, Latin America, or you name it.
It's petrol, it's insurance, it's taxes.
Yeah, taxes and so on and so forth. So let's see how it goes. I think overall, just to close this episode, people, unless you have any other question, I think it's the main takeaway is dealers need to keep communicating, and they need to react very quickly as well to the various online tools, and they need to make sure they spend the money with the right platforms, which are those platforms where they can find the real car buyers, right? So I will say those are my main takeaways. In addition to that, I'm grateful with all the support we've received also from our customers. I think, I mean, we made a great decision back in the days. We've decided to support them, and they're also supporting us back. So I think that as an industry speaks very, very well.
Yeah, as I said in the beginning of the video, we are all in this situation together. And I think working together is the best way to get out of it and face the changes that are happening in the market as well. Like we already, like by launching the initiative, we had so many responses, and I wanted to mention some of the examples that are actually started happening here in the UAE, other than valet parking. Like they're facing the whole situation of servicing your car by offering you like full sanitization, drop-off services, so you can just go and drop off your car, put your key in a safety box, and they'll pick it up, service it, sanitize it, and you can come and pick it up without even seeing anyone or being close to any of the personnel in the service. So that's happening like from many of the dealers here. Anything to add, Zaran? You wanted to add something?
No, I was just saying contactless and sanitization, pick up, drop off.
Yes.
Along with the online purchasing options, which is what I was mentioning earlier, how quickly dealers have even adapted to the situation themselves. Yeah.
Great. So, I mean, just to wrap it up, I mean, this report, as you mentioned, Anas, is available for everyone. They can check it out on YallaMotor.com, or you can just Google, I mean, YallaMotor.com reports, and it will showcase over there. And again, for everyone, stay safe. I believe the market will bounce back, and we need to leverage and we need to learn a lot from this experience and how we actually apply those learnings in the future, because the car buyer won't be the same by any means, right?
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Jorge, for spending some time with me and Zaran.
No problem. It's always a pleasure, guys. Thank you very much. And well, I look forward to catching up again with you at any time.
See you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Maybe next time we can speak about some actually other studies and reports we did. I'll give the people a tease. We just did 2 reports about the car buying behavior of EVs in the region, and it'll be a good discussion as well with Jorge again about those reports as well.
100%. I look forward to it.
And as usual, guys, so as Jorge said, stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned here with us. See you. Bye.
See you.
Bye, Zaran.
Bye.
Bye, Jorge. Thank you.
Bye.